I'm trying to remind Americans of the level of ambition of something like the Marshall Plan, where we undertook this major effort to invest in Europe, and now I'm calling on us to invest right at home in the future of Black Americans. It's really been a function of experience, seeking to lead well in a community where these systemic inequities have held people back across my diverse city. And every time we tried to solve a very narrow or specific problem, I felt like I was tugging on a thread that led to something bigger. You take what we're dealing with right now, where you have a specific incident related to policing, that when you tug on that thread leads to a much bigger complex of problems related to policing, that in turn leads to a much bigger complex of problems around criminal justice. But every time I sit down to talk with community members about justice, we almost inevitably find ourselves talking about economic empowerment. All of us are going to be diminished so long as some of us are being held back for unjust reasons. And while there's no question that there's a political agenda kind of best represented by the white identity politics being practiced in the White House, that would have us think that this is a zero-sum game. The reality of it is that America as a whole is worse off when these inequities persist. Are people ready for it? Well, we got to get people ready for it. It's much like the conversation we're having locally with our law enforcement personnel, who are sometimes inclined to think that any conversation about systemic racism is directed at them personally. Yes. And is an assault on their intentions. When really what I'm saying is that even or especially if you have the best intentions and heart, you need to be especially aware and especially capable in managing the impacts of this kind of systemic racism, because it's the air we breathe.